everybody. I have a couple of things to say about this election, post-election, and I want to say it before I start to partake in my valerian root tea and sedate myself. So, I'm going to start by saying that if you voted for Trump, then your job in this collective ascension is done, and you can go ahead and scroll past this video. I'm going to give you just a minute to do that. I'm going to start partaking. Now, the rest of this video is for everyone else. Give yourself a day, okay? One day. This morning when I woke up, I was reminded, an angel came to me, my guides were there, and they immediately brought to my memory a video that I did 8 months ago. 8 months ago, when was that? This is November, whenever. 8 months ago, I did a video called Messages from Beyond, Channeling Archangel Jophiel. And in that video, Archangel Jophiel predicted the outcome of this election. If you go back to that video, Messages from Beyond, Channeling Archangel Jophiel, this was a video done 8 months ago, and scroll to right at the 19-minute 35-second mark and listen to about the 21-minute 8-second mark, you will see that the angel predicted this outcome for a reason. What's happening right now is when the world needs to become unified, when things need to start changing, what better way to bring that change than to bring in a disruption? Okay? Remember my last video, this last one about the election and how we were told to keep our faith strong, to know what it takes to be a good leader, to not exert power over other people, to not be a burden on others, but to stand strong in our faith lovingly. The last word in that video was in love. And I was actually guided to cut out the last sentence or two of the video I originally channeled in that last election video, because my guide said, it's not the time for that right now. Give it a couple of days. The time for that is now. We were not given the whole entire picture all at once for a reason. A lot of seers, psychics, healers, people who do these things for a living did not predict favor in Trump's outcome. Favor in his outcome. They didn't necessarily predict favor in Kamala's outcome either, but they definitely did not predict favor in Trump's outcome. And we might be wondering why. Why were so many wrong messages given? And the angels this morning said the messages weren't wrong if the people interpreted their messages correctly. The messages were not in his favor, but it didn't mean he wouldn't win the election. They were not in his favor, but it didn't mean he would not win the election, because you get unity through bringing in someone trying to separate. If we had been given a leader who wanted to create change, who wanted to give power to the people, who wanted to do all of the things that we as a collective want, we as a collective would have become trusting and complacent. We would not have risen up to fulfill our destinies, our purposes, and do what needs to be done. Because change doesn't happen from the top and trickle to the bottom. It doesn't come from the outside in. Change comes from the inside out, from the bottom to the top. That's why there's a foundational chakra. That's why we always talk about the foundation. Change comes from inside out, bottom to top. It is our job to bring change. and to let that slowly start to move across the entire collective, eventually putting someone at the top who is in alignment with what we already are. And the reason that they didn't give us the full picture, the guides and the angels, is because they said that this would have caused a political uprising. Those were the exact words that they used, a political uprising, where we would have not been in the frequency of love. We would have been the ones in the wrong. We would have been the ones standing in fear, creating chaos. And we did not need to be in that place. One thing that the guides and the angels are drilling into me this morning, even through my own emotional processing, and I'm a channel, I'm going to keep being a clear channel. I'm going to be a good girl, I'm going to be a good channel, and just channel the information coming, not personal beliefs or opinions. And the information coming keeps saying love, love, love. It's all about love. Keep being loving. Because if we allow ourselves to be in the space of fear, we are just as separating, just as chaotic as everyone else who we fear. If we want to bring the change that we want to bring, here's what we've got to do. We've got to get into our love space. Give yourself one day. Give yourself one day to be angry. One day to be upset, one day to grieve, and then get over it. Put on your big girl panties. Make a change. Do something about it, okay? You get one day. And after that, anything that happens is because of you. Listen, even through all the things I was saying in other videos, remember, I'm always saying thank God for the movers and shakers. Because this is you, this is your time, this is what's happening. You are the mover, you are the shaker. You get one day to grieve, one day to be upset, and then you're gonna come back into your love space, you're gonna pull up your britches, and you're gonna step into your divine masculine self. Meaning that with a clear mind, with no worry or fear, you're going to observe and watch. We're watching, we're observing, we're seeing what you're doing. And when anything comes up, this is where we get to follow our triggers. If anything comes up that makes us feel this is an unsafe thing coming from the government, this is an unloving thing, this doesn't feel in alignment with the greater good of everyone involved, then this is when our divine masculine, not out of fear, but out of wisdom from observing, gets to instantly step up and take action. Do something about it. Be the mover, be the shaker, be the voice. I find it very interesting that right now the parties are almost 50-50 divided between the red and the blue. Over the past 5 years or so, we've really been going through purges of the collective that almost represent dimensional energies or even chakra energies. We've been through the roots and all of the sacral stuff and the Me Too movements, and we've been through all of the solar stuff, and we've been through the racism, and we've been through all of these things where people have been fighting for their rights, human rights, for their own ability to live how they want to, freely, in their own pursuit of happiness. And we've reached a dimensional space that is now just about in alignment with the throat. This is the 5th dimensional space that is trying to purge at this particular time. And the throat is represented by the color blue, and the root is represented by the color red. Remember, I said the foundation is going to be purging. There's going to be major hiccups in 2025. Hiccups, but they are purging of the foundational space so that we're finally, for the first time ever in America, coming into a space of complete stability, understanding of what's right, a good foundation to actually build our country on. The red and the blue. One has to fix the foundation. One has to keep moving into higher dimensional spaces, bringing in destiny, bringing in world peace. Everybody here is serving a purpose. So do not let yourself step out of your love space. If it wasn't for the other perspective, we would not be presented with someone who we knew we had to step into our own power in order to keep up with. We gotta watch him. We gotta watch him, guys. And that's what we're gonna do so that we can step up and be the change that we need, that this world needs. In the exact same video, Messages from Beyond channeling Archangel Jophiel, if you skip ahead to the 22-minute 50-second mark, this is where the Archangel starts to channel a little something about world peace and how it actually is possible. We feel, because we're at opposite spectrums, like we're sitting in a dual space. We're sitting in a space of duality, needing hope. We're sitting in a space of fear and separation versus love and unity. But the angels knew that this was coming and offered us words of hope, words of peace, and words of calm love, knowing that this is as it should be, and that through your ability to recognize now what is and is not kind, what is and is not loving, what is and is not wise, while still loving all the other people on the planet, you can make a difference. This is your time. 2025 is the year of new beginnings. We are not going backwards to what some particular group thought was great. We are not going back into power struggles. We are not going back into racism. We are not going back into control of other people. We are not going back into the need for money because that equals power and control. We are not going backwards. We are taking on a new beginning, one that will bring a new destiny, a new luminous body, a new energy, a new spirit, something that this world has never seen because it equals peace. A new beginning is happening in 2025, and this is your time.